काम एष क्रोध एष रजो गुणसमुद्भवः महाशनो महापाप्मा विद्ययेनमिह वैरिणम्. The literal meaning says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is lust only, Arjuna, which is born of contact with the material mode of passion and later transformed into wrath, and which is the all devouring sinful enemy of this world. Over to you, sister. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sister Archana. So now the Lord is giving the question, what is the force that compels man to commit sin, to make him do wrong action? And then the Lord is telling, it is karma, it is lust, it is your desire, it is anger, okay? And how do you develop anger? It is born out of contact with the material modes of passion and later transformed into wrath. That means first it comes as lust, or another word is karma or desire, and which gets transformed into wrath, meaning anger. And it comes how? It is born out of the contact with material modes of passion. Can you give me another word for material modes of passion? What do you?
Rajas, sister? Rajas Guna?
Yes, very good. Beautiful. So he's telling such action is actually coming out due to your Rajoguna. Okay, that means this desire, the Blessed Lord is telling this desire, the anger that you are facing, anger is coming from the desire. It's born out of the material modes of passion. Passion means modes of passion, your material nature, your guna. When you're passionate, you're said to be rajasic. So it is born out of your rajo guna, and it is all devouring, meaning it is all consuming. Okay, so the word that is used is, okay, mahasana. It is all consuming, all devouring, and it is sinful. It is mahapapma, papa, okay, mahapapma, okay, and it is your, know this to be your enemy. The word is vairinam. So 4 important words the Lord uses here to make you understand the cause for sinful action or desire, okay? And from anger, which comes, anger is actually a modification of desire. The words here are kama, okay? When we translate it, we say desire, okay? And another word is rajoguna, okay? Rajoguna samudbhava, it comes from your rajoguna. Mahasana, it is all consuming and it is all sinful. Mahapapa, all sinful, and it's vairinam, it is your enemy. Okay, now understand that. So it says it is anger and it is desire, it is anger that causes it. Okay, and then anger can never arise without a desire supporting it. Please understand that this anger that we experience, if we look back, when we get angry, if we analyze our actions, there must be at the back of it a desire. And because we are not able to fulfill the desire, because our desire is interrupted, we get angry. I'll give you a small example. Say, for example, you are going to buy a property and you're almost about to clinch the deal. You're almost going to set the deal. Suddenly somebody comes and offers more to the owner and takes it away from you. How do you feel? It's a property that you really wanted. You were almost about to pay the money and get it. Suddenly the second person comes in between and tells the owner, okay, I'll give you something more. And he takes the property away from you. What do you feel at that point? What do you feel at that person?
Anger.
Okay. Yes, you feel anger at the second person who came and stole your opportunity from you. Okay, I'll give it one more simple example, easier to understand. Okay, say a boy loves a girl. Govind loves Priya. And another boy, Ranjit, he comes in between trying to win over Priya. Now, what will happen to Govind? How will his emotional state be? Govind loves Priya and another boy.
Angry, help.
Yes, he will get angry at whom? Govind loves Priya, and a second boy, Ranjit, comes in between them, trying to win over Priya. And Govind gets angry at
the boy?
At the second boy, at Ranjit, isn't it? Why? So what is anger? Anger, if you understand, is another object or being that interrupts your desire. So anything that interrupts your desire causes anger. So anger is only a modification of desire. Please understand that whenever we are angry, just think, what made you angry? Is there a desire behind it? Okay. Sometimes, things are not going, your husband doesn't agree to it, something that you wanted, you get angry. Why? Because your desire was not fulfilled. Children get angry at the parents when the parents do not agree to their wishes. So anger always arises when the underlying desire is interrupted. And the desire, when it is manifested, it manifests as rajas. That's how it comes to the surface. When the desire is not manifested, it will be lying dormant. That means it is at the tamas state. Okay, it is unmanifested. We have got so many desires which are unmanifested. Only when it comes to the surface, we know what the desire is. Then it comes to the rajas surface. Now, and desire, here it said, desire comes from the rajasic mind. And desire here is, there are two characteristics used here, two words used here to describe desire. Desire is described as a great consumer, all-devouring, mahasana, okay, and very sinful, mahapapa. Okay. Now let us try to understand how desire can be all-devouring, or how it can be a great consumer. Now, if we look at the rajasic mind, meaning a desire-ridden mind, is full of endless desires. And there's no end to the desires, endless desires without restraint. And we must understand that the desires that we have, we cannot satisfy a desire by catering to it, by indulging in it. The more you feed the desire, the stronger it grows. Okay, I will explain with examples. You will understand it, but just follow the train of thought. So understand that we have got a lot of desires in our mind, and we cannot satisfy the desires by pampering them, by indulging them, by trying to satisfy them. The more you feed the desire, the stronger it grows. That is why desire is compared to a fire. How's the fire? The fire, you give anything to the fire, will it be satisfied? It will be all ready to consume more and ask you for more fire. It will only, the flames will only shoot up higher and higher. So no amount of fuel, or if you put oil, or you put ghee, or you put wood, or whatever into the fire, you find that, you're feeding the fire, you are indulging the fire, it is not satisfied. The more offerings it is, the stronger the fire becomes, the bigger the fire becomes. Similarly, it's the case with your desire. The more you try to satisfy your desire, whatever desire you have, by indulging in it, it only strengthens the desire. Now, you look at the richest people in the world, okay, like the Ambani family. They are so rich, but are they happy? Are they not going for more and more riches? The way they conducted their son's marriage, they want more and more from the world. So the richest person in the world, they want more riches. He's not satisfied with the amount of riches he has. He's thinking of how to improve his business, how to invest more, how to bring in more money. So he wants more and more wealth. And look at the most powerful person in the world. Is he happy? Okay, a person who rules a kingdom or a country, is he happy with the power that he has? He desires for more and more power. He wants to control more and more. Everything, keep it under him. And next, then look at the most beautiful lady in the world. She wants more beauty. Actually, right, people say it's the most beautiful person in the world. But is she happy? Is she not trying to improve her beauty all the time? They always say, people, all the people in the film world, they're all trying to improve their beauty more and more. Okay, so desires, what I'm trying to tell you by all these examples is there is no end to the desires. And the more you try to indulge it, the more you try to pamper it, you cannot satisfy it. The more knowledgeable the person is, does he not crave for more knowledge? Isn't it? So that is the nature of desires. So in desire or karma is like fire. It is all devouring. Okay, it is all consuming. Okay, you cannot satisfy it. Now, the question then comes, how can we control our desires? If desires are so all-powering, all-consuming, and it takes you endlessly, how can it be conquered? Any answers? How do you think desires can be conquered? We have discussed this point somewhere earlier in chapter 2. How do you think, where do the desires come from? Maybe if you...
From a thought, sister?
Yes, from your thoughts. Thoughts from where? Thoughts come from where?
The world?
Vasanas, preference.
Yes,
Of-
vasanas from the world. That means, okay, the thoughts from the world. That means desires come from one particular word I'm using, I'm looking for. Where exactly do they? You're right. Our thoughts come from the world. And the thoughts come from desire.
Vasanas, impressions.
Yeah, vasana. And yes, it comes from the, what is the word? We have got...
Unmanifest vasanas.
Yes, unmanifest vasanas. So the desires, the human body has got three equipment. What are the three?
Intelligence also.
That comes from the mind.
Correct. That's exactly what I'm looking. The desires, what you said is very true. They originate from the mind. They originate as thoughts from the vasanas. Now, how to control the mind? The problem is always the mind. How do we control the mind? It's a mind that takes us, helter-skelter here and there. We can't control the mind because we are carried away by the whims and fancies of the mind. And it's a mind that plays havoc with all of us. Now, how do we control the mind? What's the way to control the mind? Is there any way that we can control the mind?
Practice, sister?
Yeah. Through what kind of practice? What is the...
we detach from the lower, we attach to something higher.
Correct. Exactly. You detach from the lower and you attach to the higher. For that, what should you do? What is that? What should we do? You are right. You're given a step. In order to control, that's exactly, you hit the nail on the head. Okay, you've gone fast to the conclusion. Okay, but how? How do we control the mind?
Through meditation.
Through meditation, detaching from the lower, connecting to the higher. Which part of our... How do we... Intellect, correct. We have to develop our intellect. What is the intellect? It is a discriminating ability in you. What is right and wrong? What you should do, what you should not do. What is your dharma? What is your duties and obligations? All this is the one that is told to you by the intellect. Okay, so if you want to control the mind, it is very important that you must have a strong intellect. If not, the mind will carry away. Remember the chariot, the four horses? The four horses, they will take you, the Krishna's chariot in the Bhagavad Gita, they stand for the mind and the senses. In order to control the horses, you need a charioteer, and the charioteer is your intellect. So in order to control the senses and the mind, you need a powerful intellect. You need a charioteer. You need a Sarathi like Krishna. So we need an intellect that can control the emotions of the mind. If you follow the mind, if you let the horses go wild, that will be the end of the destruction of the rider and the chariot and everything, isn't it? So that is exactly what we are talking about. The desires originate from our mind, and desires or karma, it is all devouring, it is all consuming. So now Krishna is advising Arjuna regarding the nature of desires. So desires can be conquered only by developing a strong intellect. Now look at Ravana. He had all the prosperity in the world. Okay, he had beautiful women, okay, from heaven to please him. But still, was he satisfied? No, isn't it? He still hungered for Sita. Okay, and what happened is, going after Sita, that was the one that brought about his destruction. So he became a victim of his own uncontrollable desires. So this is what we all should be careful about. We should not become victims of our uncontrollable desires. We should know how to manage our desires, in what direction it should go, when is enough, and so on. Okay, the mind will always produce endless desires. Now, I'll give you another example which tells you how our desires should be controlled. It says in the Bible, Satan tries to tempt Christ. He says, whatever you want in the world, I will offer it to you. And what did Christ reply? Okay, did he fall for the temptations of Satan? And he could have had the whole world. But what did Christ say? I will have none of it. Get away from me, Satan. So that is how you develop your intellect, have a strong intellect, and then you can control the endless desires of your mind. Okay, but that does not mean that you don't have to deny your desires and suffocate your mind. Use your discretion in pursuing your desires. Okay, use your intellect in pursuing your desires, because we cannot suffocate all our desires. It's very important. Don't deny your desires, but know how to pursue them. Use your intellect and go in the right direction. Use your discretion when you act on your desires. Okay, and if you don't keep on feeding your desires, what happens is they will die out in due course of time like a fire. So that means use restraint. Don't keep on feeding your desires. Okay, and slowly you will find that they will die out like a fire. Like, the fire, if you don't keep on adding wood, if you don't keep on adding fuel, okay, if you don't keep on adding oil or ghee, what happens after some time? You light the lamp. After some time, you see that the wick or the fire weakens and it dies. Okay, and all that is left is ashes. In the same way, if we don't keep on feeding the desires which are wrong, they will weaken after some time. Okay, so we must use restraint in following our desires. So understand the nature of desires. They are all consuming. The second, is it clear? Any questions?
Sister, one question, sister.
Yeah.
How do we develop the intellect? Because the mind sometimes is so strong, it just overtakes it. So how do we develop the intellect to control?
Okay, one of the ways by which we can develop the intellect is actually, they say, is by studying. When you see, you get the knowledge from the scriptures, isn't it? And in the scriptures, they tell you what is right and wrong. Then you reflect on it, you analyze it. Okay, do your introspection. The knowledge is coming to you. Right now, it is coming as I'm giving you the knowledge, but only when it turns to wisdom, you can live it. So in order to turn that knowledge into wisdom, you have to reflect on it. You have to analyze on it. Only then your intellect develops. If not, the intellect always remains as a chicken intellect. That's what they say. You have a lot of intelligence about the world. You have got a lot of theoretical knowledge, but you do not have the intuition to know what is right and wrong. You just follow the herd. So in order to develop the intellect, get the knowledge from the scriptures, know what is your dharma, okay, reflect on it. And that's what they say when we study the Bhagavad Gita. They always say that get up in the early morning hours and reflect on the knowledge that you have studied. Apply it in your life, analyze it, and then slowly you will find that your intellect is growing. It is a long process. It is not something you go to the university and you acquire it with a degree. It is something that is more practical wisdom. Okay, so it is wisdom. If not, it is just theoretical knowledge. I don't know whether I answer your question or not, Sister Huri.
Yes, sister. It's just to understand, meaning putting the knowledge into practice. So
Correct. Yes. And you put the knowledge into practice only by questioning yourself.
Yeah.
By reflecting. You come across various experiences in life, isn't it? So before you take an action, okay, think about it. Don't jump into the action. And later with hindsight say, oh, I should not have done it. That means your intellect was not working. So your intellect should be available at that particular moment when you are facing a difficult situation in life. And for that, you have to work on it. Okay?
Yes, sister. Thank you.
Yes.
Sister.
Yeah. Okay, welcome. So that is a point. So it's a very good point. So remember, we can control our desires of the mind by working and developing our intellect. The second point that is told by Krishna in this verse is, okay, do we have time? Okay. Okay, desire is all sinful. Can I take a few minutes extra today so that we could, because we started a little bit late. If not, I cannot finish up this verse. So please bear with me today. Okay, sisters? Is it okay, brother?
Yes, sister.
Yes,
Okay, thank you. Okay, so the second point it is said is, desire is all sinful. Okay, why is it said to be desire is sinful? So what is a sin? Okay, I told you, when we don't do something that we're supposed to do, it creates a mental agitation. We feel, we feel guilt and become sinful. So when desires remain unfulfilled, it creates mental agitation. And the more powerful the desire, the greater the agitations. So a desire increases, okay? And when the desire increases, when desires multiply in your personality, you suffer from greater mental agitations or mental agony. It destroys your peace of mind. That means when you don't have peace of mind, it is said to be your actions or desires are producing sin. So that is why they say this. So please understand it. That's the point. So desire is said to be all sinful because unfulfilled desires creates mental agitations. Okay, and mental agitations, when you have it in your mind in the form of a guilt or remorse, it becomes a sin. And desire is actually considered as the barrier between man and God. They say what separates man and God is desires. So man is God minus desires. So desire is the barrier between God and man. If you eradicated, if you removed all your desires, all your vasanas, okay, because the desires come from your vasanas, isn't it? Okay, when you, by purifying yourself, you reduce your desires, meaning your vasanas are decreasing, and that is how you reach the state of God realization. The more desires you have, you're farther away from God. So that is why desires are considered as the evil between man and God. And that is how desires were looked in various religions. In Christians, desires call it as Satan. Okay, that's why Christ told, okay, Satan, you get behind me. Okay, don't tempt me with all your desires. Muslims refer to desires as Satan, and Buddhists as Mara, and Hindus as Asuras. Asuras are the negative forces, okay, which are not good for us, okay. So Krishna wants Arjuna that desire is your deadly enemy. So that's that last point there. So Krishna is warning Arjuna that desires is your deadly enemy. Desire is your greatest enemy in life. Why? Why? What have you understood so far? So Krishna is, towards the end of the verse, Krishna is telling, why deny? It is your enemy. Why desires you should consider as desires as your enemy. What are the reasons that are given in this verse?
It's a
never
barrier
ending,
between
and you
God.
tend to do wrong things.
Yeah, okay. What are the two words that we used here? Desires
Lust
of
and
Kama and Krodha.
Kama. Yeah, from desires come Kama and Krodha. And because of that, what happens?
Anger and
Yeah. And
We
Kama
do
and
Papa.
Krodha. Kama and Krodha, what is the effect of it? What's the effect of it? When you desires cause Kama and Krodha. And what does he say about those desires? What's the nature of the desires? Why
Good
is it?
Rajoguna.
rajasic nature.
Yes, they are rajasic. And why is it your enemy? Two words. Because they are, from this verse, they are.
It's a barrier between you and God, sister.
It's a barrier between you and God. In the third verse, in this verse, the third line gives you the answer. Why desires are considered your enemy? Mahasano, Mahapapa, Papma. Okay, meaning desires are considered as your enemy because they can consume you. You can become a victim of your desire and they can destroy you. And the other word is desires are, they create papa. They are all, the more desires you have, the more agitated you have, the more rajasic you are. Okay, a desire-ridden state is now a calm, peaceful state. So you become in an all sinful state. Okay, so that is why. So Krishna is reminding Archana, okay, and overcome the desires. Okay, they are your greatest enemy in life. Okay, know how to manage your desire. In the later verses, we are not going into look into the later verses in detail. So here the Lord speaks in verse 43. He said he motivates Arjuna and in fact all of us to conquer our enemy with courage and determination. And the word in verse 43 ends with the word Jahishatrum Mahabaho. Okay, defeat and destroy the enemy in every possible way. This is the inspiration that Krishna is giving to Arjuna, to all of us. Destroy the enemy that is within you with your willpower, with your determination. Defeat and destroy it. And how can you do it? Like so I told the sister Huri had nailed the head. Given the answer. Okay, by you can control your desires. Like you let go of the lower and take to the higher. That means you let go of your desires at the level of the body, mind, and intellect, and you learn and you turn to God. Okay, inquiry into the nature of the self. The self is all blissful. Why are we running to the world and to the desires? Because we all are seeking bliss and happiness. But the bliss and happiness that we get there is only temporary. But man does not realize that. The moment we turn our attention from the world inward to the self, to the Atman, okay, due to inquiry, by developing our intellect, we begin to understand that the nature of the self is all blissful. It is bliss itself. And that when you reach that bliss, it will eliminate all the desires from the mind. And desires actually arise out of the ignorance of the self. A man who's self-realized, the self, he understands that the self within is all blissful. But unfortunately, we have not reached a state of fulfillment. We feel a void. We feel something is lacking in our mind. And we feel a state of imperfection. We need something is wrong with our mind. So what do? We engage in actions. We run to the world and so on. We try to fulfill our desires. But desires are all consuming, all sinful, and they are your enemy. So try to overcome them. So that is the most important advice given by Lord Krishna to Arjuna and to all of us who are seekers. Okay, this is the nature of desires. Any questions? Okay, so understand that what you have to do.
Sai Ram sister, I had a
a network problem. Can you just repeat the solutions that you mentioned just now?
Okay, in order to overcome your desires, what you have to do is turn to the inner self. Desires develop when you get attached to the outside world, isn't it? But the moment you turn yourself, that's why I said, let go of the lower and attach yourself to the higher. You take up higher goals in life. That will give you all happiness, because the happiness that you are seeking for, it comes from within. Why are we running to the world? We are looking for happiness from the world. But man does not understand that the happiness that he is seeking is temporary. So he is having a lot of desires. Why are we running after desires? Because we are seeking for happiness. But the happiness is never reached. It's a goal that we never reach. The goal is always eluding us. It is running away from us. So in order to conquer desires, which arises out of the ignorance of the self, what we have to do is take the path of the self-inquiry. Okay, go closer to the path of the Atman, the inward path. And then when you indulge in all your sadhanas, then you will find that happiness which is all lasting, all permanent. So that is why, say, all of us, when we engage in all these activities, I'm sure we forget the worries of the world. It gives us so much of peace and happiness. But the moment we put down, we go out from the class, okay, we are getting caught up with our family, with our problems and endless thing. So in order to find peace, lasting peace and happiness, turn to the path of the Lord. Okay, so and try to conquer your little self by attaching yourself to the bigger self, to the Atman. So that is why what is blocking you is the desires. That is the deadly enemy that is blocking us from our Atman, or from our Krishna, or from our Devi, or Bhagavan.
So, Sairam, I would like to add one small point. As
Yes,
a
brother.
human, as a human, everybody gets desires. It's a
Yes.
natural, right? It's natural.
Yeah.
But then once you get desire, you think about the worst side. What will happen if I do get this
Yes.
one?
Yes.
Then I think you will more detach. Actually, I mean,
Correct.
otherwise normally what happens when we have desire, immediately we try to grab it.
Correct.
But
Yes,
but
brother.
then if you think about the end point, then you will get exactly you want or not. Exactly. That
Yes,
way.
what brother said is very true. You think about the consequences of indulging in the desire, you'll be more careful. And to do that, you need a powerful intellect. That's why don't get carried away by the mind. Thank you, brother. Good point. Emphasize.
Sairam, may I ask a question?
Please.
Now, we are talking of letting go of all desires.
Yeah.
In my understanding, please tell me if I'm correct, this does not include the sattvic desires that we have, for example, the desire to go closer to God, the desire for more spiritual or other kind of useful knowledge, and the desire to help others, do something for the upliftment of society.
Yes.
So these are all sattvic desires,
Yes.
and they don't fall under the
Rajasic desires.
so they are exempted.
Yes,
right?
you said it. You made it very clear, sister. We have to keep to our sattvic desires and let
No,
go of the.
I would like to
rajasic
also. I
desires.
would like to say something on this also, sister. See, nowadays we are also planning to do many, like donations. We want to do danams and this and that, right? But
Yes.
once we do danam without checking that what they are going to do with that danam, just simply giving to the same person again and again, or simply giving danam without checking background what's happening, what they are going to do, then that's a sin. According to
Correct.
Garuda Purana, it says that because I give money to some people again and they go and drink and they fall down on this.
Yes.
So it's our intelligence should utilize before we do that sattvic, whatever you said, those 3 points you said. Yes,
Yes.
it is
Yes,
true.
very true. When we give dhanam, we must make sure it goes to a worthy recipient and not to somebody who will use it for their own downfall or destruction. They really
Otherwise,
need it.
yeah. Otherwise, we are creating the demand for them. I mean, actually, I mean, we are
Yeah.
satisfying their demands, whatever, and there we are making them handicapped. And I mean,
Yes.
many different ways are there to find out whether it is a, sattvic. I mean, really, it's what we are doing is a desired correct one. That one. I think.
Yes.
I think God has created means He has all plans to everybody. We unnecessarily putting our mind. Oh, I have to do this and that. Correct. I mean, it's my understanding. It's okay, but I'm saying that if we are helping others, means we are stopping them to work, or we are, changing their path. So actually, they have supposed to go through the karma. We are stopping that karma. We are stopping their burning their karma. Actually, this is a problem, right? This is what I
Yes,
understand. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, brother.
Yeah.
I think
Sairam,
it's
thank
And then, Sai Ram, and then there is also one point that many people who go about and they donate things, they come back home and then they'll talk about it to others. I
Yes.
have done this,
Yeah, no,
I've
Yes.
done that. They go and talk about it. It goes more like, I don't think it's something that is good.
Certainly
Just the
not.
ego
Yes.
then.
Very true. Well,
Yeah, sister. See, there is a saying that if you have given from the left hand to somebody, your right hand should not understand.
will not know. Yes.
Means
Mhm.
even I have given that, I should not understand that. I mean, I should not remember what I have given.
Yes. I mean, whatever we give should not be for promoting ourselves for a name or fame or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, we should not be concerned with the results of whatever. I mean,
Correct.
like brother said, make sure that it goes to the right person, but we should not be doing it with any expectations.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, many things
Yes.
are there. Yes.
Yeah, so many points have been brought up in this discussion. Beautiful. Yeah,
Very
thank
nice.
you. I think we can wind up. We can stop.
Yeah,
So very
thanks to
fruitful.
everybody who are
Yeah.
contribution of
Yeah,
many, the information. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it was a beautiful discussion, beautiful class. Thank you. I
Can
think
we stop?
Yes, yes.
Anybody want to chant closing one? Anybody want to chant closing ones?
Yeah, brother, I can do
okay.
it.
Hold on. Okay, thank you.
Om Purnamada Purnamidaf Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavavishyate Om Shantish Shantish Shantihi.
Sai Ram. Thank you
Hi
very
Ram.
much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Have a nice day.
Sister.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good night and good day. Yeah. Sai
Good
Ram.
night.
Saira.
Hi Ram.
Sai Ram. I will shut down.